Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to treat music like a recipe. We're going to break down its core ingredients. The actual building blocks of every single song you've ever loved.
All right, so first up, the recipe for music. Let's really lean into this idea and think about music in maybe a whole new way.
I mean, it hits us, right? It makes us feel all these emotions. It can feel like pure magic. But what if I told you that underneath all that complexity, it's actually built from just a handful of core components? Kind of like how a gourmet meal starts with some simple, basic ingredients.
And that is the big idea for today. A chef doesn't just throw things in a pan. They carefully choose their ingredients and combine them. And in the exact same way, a musician or a composer uses a specific set of elements to create that song that just gets you.
Okay, Section 2. Let's talk about the foundation, rhythm and pitch. These are the absolute basics, the flour and water of our musical recipe, if you will.
So first up, we've got rhythm. This is all about time. It's the heartbeat, the pulse of the music. It's what makes you want to tap your foot. That steady thump, thump, thump that drives the song forward. The perfect example? Think of soldiers marching to a drum. That organized beat, that's pure rhythm.
And then there's pitch. So if rhythm is when a sound happens, pitch is what the sound is. Is it high? Is it low? That's all pitch is. It's the difference between a super deep bass guitar and a really high piccolo flute. Simple as that.
But here's the thing. Musicians don't just use any old random pitch. They use notes that are organized into something called scales. And you can think of a scale as the composer's pantry. It's the collection of all the available notes that sound good together, all ready to go for this particular recipe.
And this is where it gets really cool. Different cultures stock their musical pantries differently. So in most Western music, I'm talking everything from classical to pop, we use what are called diatonic scales. Those have 7 notes. But if you listen to a lot of traditional music from, say, China or Japan, you'll hear pentatonic scales, and those only have 5 notes. It creates a completely different flavor.
All right, Section 3. We've got our foundation. Now it's time to add the flavor. Let's talk about melody and harmony.
Okay, melody, this is the part of the song you actually sing along to. It's the tune that gets stuck in your head for days. When you're humming something? Yeah, that's the melody. It's like the main character in our story, moving forward through time.
So if melody is the main course, harmony is everything else on the plate that makes it amazing. It's the combination of different notes played at the same time. These are chords. And harmony is what gives the music its richness, its depth, its emotional punch. It adds texture.
So think of it this way. Melody moves horizontally, right? It's one note after another, moving through time. But harmony is vertical. It's a stack of notes happening all at once, in a single moment. It's the interplay between these two that really creates the whole picture.
Okay, Section 4, the written recipe. We've got all these ingredients, but how do you write them down so someone else can make the exact same dish? Well, that's where music notation comes in. I know, reading music can look super intimidating, like some kind of secret code, but it really just boils down to a few basic things. You've got the staff, that's the 5 lines. You've got the clef at the beginning, which is basically the legend for your map, telling you what the lines mean, and then where you put the note on that staff tells you the pitch. That's it.
And it's not just about what note to play, it's about how long to hold it. And that's all about the shape of the note. See here? A whole note is this open circle. That gets 4 beats. A quarter note has a filled-in head, and that's just 1 beat. The notation literally tells you the rhythm.
But a recipe is more than just a list of ingredients, right? You need cooking instructions, like bake at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. In music, we have the same thing. And those instructions are called tempo and dynamics. This is what brings the music to life.
First up is tempo. It's just a fancy word for speed. How fast or slow is the song? Musicians usually use these Italian words as a kind of shorthand. So if you see largo, you know it's going to be really slow. Andante is like a nice walking pace. And allegro, that means fast and lively.
And then there are dynamics. This is basically the volume knob. Again, we use these Italian terms. P for piano means play it soft. F for forte means play it loud. It's how you get those dramatic moments where the music suddenly gets really quiet or builds to this huge, loud crescendo.
Okay, last section. Let's put it all together and talk about a new way to listen.
So when you boil it all down, what do we have? 4 things. Just 4. Rhythm, pitch, melody,
and harmony. Think about that for a second. Pretty much every piece of music you have ever heard is built from just those 4 core ingredients. And when you add in the instructions, the notation, the tempo, the dynamics, that's how you get everything. From a simple little tune someone's humming to a giant, complex symphony orchestra. It's all just a combination of these same fundamental building blocks. The magic is in how they're put together.
And that's really the big takeaway here. Music isn't some kind of unknowable magic that just appears out of thin air. It's a craft. It's an art of organizing sound in time. It's a recipe that's been perfected over hundreds and hundreds of years.
So now you have the recipe. You've been let in on the secret, and that means you can start listening in a completely new way. You're not just hearing the final dish, you're able to understand how it was made.
So the next time you put on your favorite song, try it. See if you can hear the different ingredients. Can you separate the melody from the harmony? Can you tap out the rhythm? What will you hear now that you know what to listen for? That's all for this one. Now go listen.